This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pointy Bakery. If you're located in the Pointy area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pointy Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. All right, I feel like as I looked at these topics for this week, and I was saying to you before we went on, that it seems a little dark. These are some negative topics. It's been like a dark week, you know?
Okay, I don't know what the topics are.
Let's just...
At least I don't remember them.
No, yeah, we just talking to them throughout the week. They just kept happening, and I was like, oh, I write that down. One thing, we won't talk about it, but one thing just to make it happy is Donda finally got released, so go check that out. All right. Okay. Now onto the darkness. Okay, so FDA approval. COVID got FDA approval.
The Pfizer.
Pfizer. Yes, for COVID. The COVID vaccine, yeah. Pfizer got FDA approval, and that defeats that one argument for people to not want to get it. You were saying that the uptick, like people.
There was a certain. I think I read somewhere someone said something like there was an uptick in people getting it, but I don't know what the real, like the full, what are the numbers are.
See, the thing that frustrates me is like,
or is it? I'm not sure. Is it like along with the FDA approval? Is it also the Delta variant, like the uptick of the cases? Does that influence? I don't know. Maybe that influenced people.
Oh, okay. To go get them right. It's like a bunch of elements, not just one element.
I would say it's probably multiple elements.
Right. The thing about the FDA thing and with the vaccines is weird to me because people who attack vaccines, they're all like, oh yeah, they cause like blood clotting and stuff, and that's like certain vaccines. They don't like separate. So now can we make the argument like, oh, vaccines are FDA approved? And then they're going to be like, no, it's just that one vaccine. It's like, okay, now you're picking and choosing. You know what I mean? It's like when they lump the negativity together, they just say it's all vaccines. Like we've been saying this multiple times throughout the podcast. If you're not into like the blood clotting, sure, go get the mRNA, because it's like there's no real bad side effects, right? You said maybe there was one.
There are some things, but
nothing crazy, right?
But it's like, again, it's like, but also it's also like the risks of a vaccine are significantly less than the risks of COVID. No blood clotting,
no like seizures and stuff like that for the mRNA.
Sure, I mean, like I wouldn't say. At least nothing has been shown so far, I guess.
Right, it's totally. Okay, so they're like, yeah, but vaccines as a whole cause, like, that's their argument, right? Like blood clotting, all this. So it's like, now that it's FDA approved, can we technically say, oh, vaccines are FDA approved? Right? You know what I mean? Like, the argument negatively one way, people look at it and they'll just like bandwagon them. They'll just like put them all together. But like the other way, it's like, they'll look more. But
what's so weird? It's just like, yeah, but it's so weird. It's like just waiting for an FDA approval, but there's a lot of things that people do that are not FDA approved.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, very yeah, that's very true. And I think it's a control piece. I think it's more psychologically a control piece than it is a actual facts based thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not really you're running with the facts and that's why you don't want to get it. I think it's more like you don't want to be told to get something, so you're latching onto any argument.
Sure, yeah. There's probably it's a mixture of all that kinds of stuff. Each person is different, right? There are people like that. There are people that just like the crowds that cheered on Trump getting the vaccine out, but then they're not getting the vaccine, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly.
and then Trump
Right,
going
yeah.
out. I don't know if that's on that list, but like Trump going out.
No, it's not on the list, but
Yeah, Trump
bring
going
that
out
up.
on, was it campaign? Oh, was it Alabama or somewhere? And then he's like, we got our freedoms, but I got the vaccine. I recommend getting the vaccine, and everybody's booing him.
Yeah, so it's so silly. It's like you're all for Trump, and then remember they were like, when he was like leaving office, they did make that big thing about like, oh, they're gonna release the vaccines now that he's not in office, and not gonna say it's because of him, but it was because of him, all of his hard work, and then like, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool, they're out now. He got one.
Yeah.
But did you get one? It's like, no, I don't really care. It's like people just want to argue about anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we're in a time in history where there's no main enemy, and because of that, there is the freedom to be complacent and argue about whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you were in a dying world, like let's say you were in a developing nation and you needed the vaccine because everyone was dying around you, you wouldn't even argue this. You'd just be like, yeah, give it to me as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, I feel like we're just soft in the West now. Like it's too comfortable. We have everything at our fingertips. We've literally created heaven. I think we said that before in a different podcast, but yeah, it's weird. All right, so Joe Rogan had Dr. Rhonda Patrick on, and she was like advocating vaccines, and he was like not like he was trying to like challenge arguments, but both of them didn't bring up the distinction between vaccines. So I'm like, how come you guys didn't do like? No, I've never seen, like literally I think it's only you and I who are talking about the distinction between vaccines, because every time I hear about it, it's always like vaccines are bad, vaccines are good. And I'm like, but what vaccine are you talking about? Like which one, you know?
Yeah, but but I wouldn't even categorize anything as bad or good.
What do you mean? The vaccine?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Why?
I think it would all be good. You know what I mean?
Oh, all right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay. Risks outweighing the benefits.
Right.
So not bad or good. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're all good because they're healing something.
Yeah.
But when people talk about like the risk reward, it's like we don't even distinguish between which type of vaccine you're getting.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like that's.
I think even even our Health Canada government, didn't they put like preferred was the mRNA? I think they said that, right? I just remembered.
Yeah, like in our country, maybe it's an American thing because like a lot of the media that I see is like very American based and like they're so polarized over there. But over here, like majority was that 80% of Canadians now have the vaccine, something like that.
Yeah, I would say that.
So so 80%. And it's like our marketing efforts on, that's actually another thing about it. That was another thing we brought up before, like COVID as a marketing problem. Because like here, they broke down the different types of vaccines, the risks, the rewards, the benefits. Remember that? Like,
yeah,
like they actually like gave us the full information. I feel like
even them saying preferred vaccine.
Preferred, yeah,
right?
exactly. It's
so
like,
like people stopped their second dose, instead of getting AstraZeneca, they were recommended to get the mRNA.
Yeah.
So
it's like, why? Like, I don't understand. Like with the last 20%, that's just confusing to me. But the cases are pretty high again, eh? They're like 800.
Cases are high, but it's like 90. Mostly, I would say 85 to 90% are unvaxxed or partially vaxxed. They are not saying the exact number of partially vaxxed, so they're putting them together.
Oh, okay.
Unvaxxed and partially vaxxed.
Okay. Yeah.
Or unknown vaccine status. That's the other 3 categories.
Yeah, because my mom and my sister, they even this week as well, like my sister was like, oh, I have COVID patients. I was like, oh, are they vaxxed? And she's like, no, they're all unvaxxed.
So so like no, case numbers are different than hospitalizations. So hospitalizations, you're also going to get almost like 90-95% unvaxxed that are in. And then even,
I see what you're saying. You're making the distinction even further now.
Yeah,
like,
and then
there's cases, but who's going to the hospital?
Yeah. So even with the cases, it's like 85 to 90% unvaxxed, and then it's like
but what I'm saying
everything
is
like, almost like that.
With the high number, like the 800, it's like there's nothing to worry about because what are the hospital rates like? Not that high. So it's like you can get COVID now, but it's just the flu. It's like, oh, I'm not feeling well.
Yeah. So like that is true for the people who are vaccinated.
Right. They're saying it's now the unvaxxed pandemic.
Yeah. Because most of the cases are them, and then those are the ones who will eventually more or less impact the hospital beds and the ICU units.
Right. Totally. Yeah. It makes no sense. It's funny. Me saying it makes no sense to me is from a place of like logical intelligence. It's like if you look at things and line them all up, you can obviously see that it's better to get the vaccine than not get the vaccine. Even
I think the numbers show that.
Yeah, right. The number, like
the numbers.
Like just look at the damn numbers, bro. But like even people like, oh, it's gonna make you infertile. And then they did the study and they're like, oh, there's no signs that it'll make you infertile. So it's like, okay, now we're just going to run studies for conspiracies because people are like really hesitant. But one of the studies that they did run, and I was thinking like, I wonder if anybody studied this, is the intelligence. We were talking about this because I was getting so frustrated. I'm like why are these people not getting it? Why do they believe that there's like this infertility thing, or like you're going to die in 2 years because you got the vaccine, all that stuff? It's like when I like searched it, intelligence related to COVID hesitancy, somebody actually did a government run study on this, and they found that the lower the intelligence level, the more hesitancy.
There's so are they basing intelligence level based on education?
I don't know, like IQ or something like that.
Okay, IQ. Yeah, okay.
And it was like about how your intelligence level prior to COVID relates to your hesitancy.
But don't they? Yeah, but it's so funny. It's like, but those people are the ones saying like, look at the research. They don't know how to read the research.
But that's what I mean. That's why it's so maddening to me when people are like, or they reference a scientist and like we were saying that.
Yeah.
All right, but which scientist? There's so many different scientists. Like you can have a PhD in like horticulture, and you're like, I'm a doctor, so I know. It's like, yeah, but you didn't study how vaccines work. What was it, epidemiologist?
Yeah, epidemiologist. Yeah.
So it's like, look to those doctors who actually study, but it's like, no, but they're a doctor. It's like, yeah, a doctor of what though? You could still be a doctor. Like you could be a psychology doctor and talking about freaking COVID vaccines being bad, but it's like,
but then also like what's happening with those types of people is they're also selling their own like a
cure and solution,
pseudo drug or something.
Yeah, totally.
So
I think I brought this up before, but I was at Ambrosia and this guy was like saying how he made his own like magnetic thing. It was like he made this like this tincture or something, and then it changed the magnetism of your body so that it would repel COVID. And he's like, and all the studies I was doing, it's like it's showing that this is the case. I do it on myself daily. And then it sucks because like if you work at the store, you have to be polite. You can't tell somebody to shut up, right? So you're just like listening. I'm just watching like these store people be like, wow, yeah, that makes a lot. Yeah, totally, that's crazy. Yeah, wow. But it's like, who is this guy? Like, well, you're gonna reverse the magnetic polarization,
the polarity,
so that it'll repel COVID. Like what? Dude, we're getting squirrely here. You know what I mean? It's like,
I don't know. This is weird stuff.
Yeah, it feels like too easy to join a team right now. Like that's one thing I'm noticing now too. It's like even in myself, like I'd say I'm very pro-vax, and it's very easy to join that team now. Like if you want community, you go to those anti-vax rallies and you feel like you're fighting for a cause, or like you get the vaccine and then you're pro-vax and then you feel like you're fighting for a cause. It's giving people like meaning to their lives when there was no meaning. And I think that's why people are like also fighting so hard for it. Like the control piece plus, the like lack of place in the world. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Have you heard anything about this COVID-22?
No, probably just rumors.
Yeah, rumors. All right, sure.
Rumors are like, what do you call it?
I saw it on social
memes
media
and stuff.
So yeah. So they were like, I think it was CNN though, where I saw but again, it's like headlines.
But they're probably memeing, or they're talking about what was being right. They're reporting on what's being talked about, I guess. I don't know.
Right. And they're like blowing it up out of proportion. Like somebody was like, oh, we might have to worry about a COVID-22. Like, we have to worry about a COVID-22. It's like the framing of it. Like somebody might have just brought it up. Yeah, you're right. But theoretically, it's supposed to be worse than COVID-19.
Yeah, so,
okay.
I don't know what that means. Why are they naming it a different name itself, right? Like, wouldn't it be just another variant then?
That's true. Yeah, why would they call it 22?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes no sense. I'm just gonna
like wouldn't you say then
that.
Delta variant is technically that's becoming the dominant one? Wouldn't that be then
COVID-21?
COVID-21?
Yeah.
So
that's true. I think we're just confused with the pandemic. That's what's going on, man. Yeah, what a weird time. Do you think so? Okay, going back to this question, with the numbers, you don't think we're going to go back into a lockdown, right?
If it, I think it depends how much it's actually affecting hospitals.
Okay.
Because it's
I see. Yeah.
Because what would happen is if most of the people again are unvaxxed that are going to these hospital beds, and if they're like the same issue that we had before the vaccines. Right, but they're mainly going to be from unvaxxed. They're going to be taking up hospital beds, which will affect other people who need to go to the hospital for different reasons.
Right. Wouldn't that be like a big sign, though, that maybe you should get vaccinated if like...
Well, yeah, I mean, I think these numbers show exactly that.
So it's like, right? Again, why would you not get it? Right? Like, you
they really... I mean, that tells you how many people have... I mean, sure. I think there's people that are legitimate reasons, for other specific health stuff.
Yeah, but we're like negating them. We'll delete that.
Sure. Yeah. But I think I don't know. Like, I guess it tells you how people fall for the internet memes and trolls. And
do you think Western society is too? Actually, wait. Before we go into that, because that leads into my next topic quite well, I'm just going to bring up this one last thing. Air Canada won't hire unvaxxed people now. Remember we were saying about the termination?
I think beforehand? It's other companies saying the same stuff.
I know, right, dude? It's like your... I mean, that does seem like a totalitarian style
these
thing.
Are companies, though, right? So
right, no, totally, yeah, for sure. But it seems like very get with it or
because you're was it? I forgot which airline it was in America. I think if you aren't vaxxed, you have to pay more for the health insurance.
Oh, okay. So there you go. There's a premium. Cool.
Something like that. I think was there in one of those airlines in America.
Okay.
Because you're technically putting everyone else at risk.
Right.
And you're going to possibly, if there's more like outbreak cases, then you're shutting down the company.
So totally. So it's like, it's like we're really entering this world, and the people that are very reluctant to get on board seems very odd. Wow, this actually goes into another. All right, they're all like kind of tied together around global psychology, but I'll get to that one last. But if you really look at it, it's like we're really entering into a whole new world that if you want to be a part of it, you have to play the game. But also at the same time, it's not as bad as you think, because the messaging is it's being skewed by people that don't understand the messaging. Actually, I'll enter into it now. The Apple spying on our photos. That's a great example of I saw the YouTube video on the side, Russell Brand, he was like, they're spying on us. And then Edward Snowden says that this can be used badly, blah, blah, blah. And
or has potential.
Has the potential.
Sure, right, potential is potential. Anything can be potential to anything, right? So it's
right, totally, yeah. So the idea, the pushed headline is that Apple is looking at all your photos. And it's like, okay, if you look, so that freaked me out. I was like, what? So I clicked on it. I watched the video.
Of course, that's why we click on it, right?
Right, that's clickbait. And then watching the Russell Brand thing, I was like, whoa, they're gonna have the ability to look at all my photos, look at all my stuff, blah blah blah. And then underneath that, what was the dude's name? The software.
I think Craig Federighi.
Okay, cool.
If I'm correct.
So that he has like white hair. It's like on a pompadour. Like
yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
He's all, I think so.
Handsome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. He is well put together. I was like, this guy looks like a model or something.
Yeah, no, but he's been in front of in the Mac
Well, for a while.
presentations for a while. So that's
okay,
why, yeah. He's pretty up there.
So he did an interview with the Wall Street Journal explaining this, and then I saw it underneath the Russell Brand one. So I'm like, okay, I'm obviously gonna watch this one next. So it's like you gotta look at both sides and then like judge yourself which one makes the most sense. You know, if I just watched the Russell Brand one, then I would freak out because I was like, oh, dude, you're gonna look at more stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just like the whole vaccine thing. It's like, oh, infertility. It's like, okay, look at a study that shows you that there is no related infertility. So anyway, so I watched that video, and basically, do you want to explain how it works, or
you watched the full thing with
yeah with
so
him.
I don't know everything about
it. So he said they took that one thing and then they exploded the whole, like, we're going to spy on you, like, we're looking at your photos. They're not actually looking at their photos. So it's twofold. The software is broken up into two pieces. The first one is they're looking at the code. So when you upload something to iCloud, it's not actually looking at the image. It's looking at the serial number or the specific code of the image that you're uploading. So they have a whole database of like child. So this whole thing was set into motion because they're trying to stop child pornography.
Yeah.
So it's like, that makes sense. That's a valid way. So like Russell Brand's argument is that they get you with something valid. So it's like, yeah, let's stop child pornography. Who's not into that? But then they can easily misuse this later on. So that's what freaked me out. I was like, okay, if you're looking at all thing, yeah, I'm all for that. But later on, if you're like, oh, now we also want to make sure you're not this type of person. So like, we're going to look at all your photos and make sure you're not that type of person, or else we'll have a social scoring system and like you're ranked negatively.
Right.
So in theory, that's how the conspiracy theorists believe it works. But Apple is just saying that they're not even looking at your photos. They're looking at the serial number of and they're cross-referencing it to a database of child pornography photos. So it's like, yeah, that makes total sense. If you have the serial number XR25 and it matches with XR25, that's a red flag. But he even said that it's like it's multiple red flags. It's not like you get one and you're like, okay, we're gonna storm you. It's like you have to hit like a threshold. So it's like, okay, that makes complete sense. You're looking at the serial number, you're not actually looking at. And the other thing that he was saying is that if you store anything on a cloud-based server, like Google or Facebook,
yeah, they already do.
They already do it.
They've been. I think what I read was like Google's been doing it since 2008.
Yeah,
and Facebook's been doing it since 2013.
Yeah, so nobody's talking about that, right? So it's like, it's weird that just
they're not like big $2 trillion companies like Apple.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Well, and also Apple touts privacy. So like,
right, that's I think that's the thing.
Like,
yeah,
but it's being as private as it can be. It's like, yeah, we're just trying to stop this thing, so we're just cross-referencing serial numbers. That's all. You know, we're not actually like looking at what you're like. If
they're not looking at it, it's codes. There
codes. Yeah. So if your image, which is also weird because it's like, why did Edward Snowden freak out about it then? Maybe he just jumped the gun as well. Like he didn't actually look into how it worked.
But again, he's all, but he's like his main thing wasn't that about that.
Okay.
I think it was just like the potential.
The potential, yeah.
That's what he was talking about.
Right. And then that little tweet got taken by Russell Brand, and then Russell Brand made a whole video about like how Edward Snowden warns us about the potential for it. Like, what? So it's like these people don't even realize that they're feeding into the conspiracies as well. It's like, you need to make sure you're talking very like you should understand the subject matter before you go exploding to the world about how this is going to have crazy negative implications, because he's got a very big platform.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think as you get higher into that like level of status, like Russell Brand level or Joe Rogan level, you should really consider. I mean, I listened to Joe Rogan talk about it. He's like, but you just got to keep doing what got you to the dance. So like him just spitballing is what made him famous.
Yeah.
And got him to that level. So he's just going to keep doing that. But I agree with that. sure, it's like an art
But
thing.
then there's a certain point
But
where
then
you
there's a certain
really
point, you know, like I feel like if you and I had like millions of listeners, I think we'd have to take this very seriously, and we'd have to really fact check all the stuff.
Yeah, I think
Or, like, preface it
of
with,
course,
like-
yeah. I think that it's a very important thing to have things right, because whatever you say, you're going to influence
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people.
Yeah.
And if you're saying something incorrect, that's a big problem.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you. But then that would be like a full-time job, you know, like if we had millions
I know.
of
But
listeners,
when you're
we'd,
at that level,
like, quit
you
our
are a
jobs and-
media. You are
But that's what I mean.
big
That's what I
media
mean. It's like,
already.
that is your job, bro. Your job is literally to influence other people. So
Yeah.
like in doing that, maybe do some due diligence and like look at, like watch the video yourself. And if you don't understand how code works, he's like, wait, what? Cross-referencing database? What? I don't understand. I see a picture. I don't understand how code works. You know, so it's like,
Yeah.
so okay, if you don't understand that photos are really just ones and zeros, if you don't understand that
Exactly.
it's just binary, then you're gonna freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you're gonna, like, they don't have the only technology right now that has the ability to scan something as like a photo in real life and then make a judgment call on that is Tesla's autopilot system.
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody's got such a crazy, like Apple, I'm sure doesn't, or else they'd be selling it. They don't have the ability to like look at a photo and make a judgment call on that. Right? They only have an algorithm that's like, okay, these specifications mathematically could potentially be this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Which actually is the second part of that whole privacy thing. I'll get into right after this. So like, if you're just looking at codes and like your uploaded code is like 7521 and it's not in the database of child pornography, it won't even be seen. It's just like, okay, 7521, whatever. Like they're not actually looking at you on vacation.
Yeah. They're not looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
It's
they're not
codes.
actually physically looking at the image.
No,
they're looking at the
Yeah.
serial number.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like we need to make that distinction.
Yeah.
And then, which is funny. Well, I'll bring this up at the end. But okay, so then the second part of that code, speaking of algorithms, so if they had the ability to look at a photo and make a judgment call on the photo, like I was saying, they'd sell it, right? Because Tesla is the one doing that right now for their autopilot system, right? Right, that's what they're doing. Like
Yeah,
picture,
yeah.
like camera.
A lot of it's run through camera now. Yeah.
Whereas before it's like LiDAR, you know, like
Mixed. I think mixture of both.
yeah, you're looking at patterns, right? Because
Yeah.
like the human eye to look at an image and make a judgment call of everything, it's just too much data, right? So okay, so Tesla is on the forefront of this technology. So how do you think if Apple had that ability, they'd be selling that ability, right? Because you make money on
Right,
it. Like
yeah,
that's revolutionary. Okay, so keep that in mind. So the next part of this is if you send a text message with an image to a minor.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the second part of the
Okay,
thing.
okay.
So it's
Oh,
two
okay.
separate softwares that are running, but people blew it out of proportion. They thought it was one software, but he's like, no, it's two different things. So that one, they're looking for child pornography via serial numbers uploaded to the cloud.
In the cloud. Yeah.
So the second one, and this is where people are freaking out, is it will look at the image you're sending to a minor, and then if it deems it to be potentially like a nude photo of you that you're sending to a minor, it will blur the image and then it'll warn the minor saying like this could be sensitive material. So the minor, if they choose to click on it, so nothing happens at this point. It's like you're not in trouble.
Right,
no one's in
right.
trouble. Then if the minor clicks on it, then a pop-up comes up and it's like, are you sure you want to view this sensitive material? So you click yes. And then if you click yes, then it goes, if you view this sense. So there's 3 layers of are you sure, right? Then blurred it out. It asks you, do you want to see it? And the third layer is, if you look at this photo, we're going to alert your parents. So like,
Yeah.
so if the software got it wrong, so basically that one is also using picture analysis technology,
Yeah.
like the autopilot system of Tesla. But what they're doing is they're looking at the image and they're seeing like, does this look like a nude photo? So,
Yeah. It's
But-
sending it to a minor. Yeah.
right, but Apple also doesn't have it perfected. He was saying like, you can fool the system, but it's really, really good so far. Like they're having a hard time trying to fool it, but you can fool it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't sound like both those two softwares don't sound like they're looking at your phone to me. Right? Like
right.
it's external. Like you getting the text message is external. Like it's sure it made it onto your phone, but it traveled through cyberspace, right? Like when you send me a text message, it goes into the air. And then they're just intercepting it in the air.
I mean, you're using their servers. Technically, you're using a server. So like for iMessage, it is their servers.
It's what I'm saying. They're not actually looking into your phone. Okay. It just got like blown out of proportion. You know, they're not actually, there's no like malware, you know, like malware that like scans your computer or stuff.
Okay.
It's not like malware that you have going on. Like then the thing that I think Russell Brand brought up, he's like, there are certain applications that allow you to take control of somebody's computer without them knowing.
Right.
And then you can like control it.
But yeah.
And then he's like, oh, this could happen for Apple, right? And that's actually happened to me at work before. Like there was a technical issue and then the IT guy was like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll log in. So he logged in and started like messing with my computer. I was like, what the hell's going on?
This is probably virtual. It's called,
yeah. So like, that's not what Apple's doing.
No.
Like it's not like putting in software to like secretly control things. It's it's outside of your device. It's capturing data. You know, like when you're using iMessage service, when you're using iCloud, but nothing internal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that was not the...
So but look how you blew it up out of proportion. The headline was like, Apple is looking at your phone. Your phone.
Basically,
like, and then it was funny because... So the thing that I said I was going to bring up at the end.
That's why it wouldn't have made sense. Is like, aren't they already been touting privacy? They've been saying privacy. So like, why would they be doing something opposite to that?
But that's what the fear was. People didn't understand. So they were like, oh, you're going against your word. Okay, the thing that I said I was going to bring up at the end, the reporter said, you always promise not to build a back door, but this seems like a back door. And he was confused, like, I don't know, what do you mean? It's not a back door. And like, if you understand technology, it's not a back door because they can't actually get into your phone. They're looking at stuff as it's entering or exiting your phone, not internally
into the phone. Right.
But I think people are like, well, my text messages are on my phone, so that's on my phone.
No.
But it's like, no, but they're traveling
if
to your
people
phone.
Don't understand this, even text messages, iMessages or whatever, you're using either servers or cellular networks. Yeah. They know what you're texting.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, that's all they're doing. They're just checking within those transport systems.
Yeah. Only way to keep things private, if you really want to, because text message doesn't do that either, is to do an actual physical call. They know that you did a call, but they don't know what you talked about.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But they can tap your phone, technically.
But that is different, right?
Yeah. But you need a warrant.
That's already after getting warrants and, right? But I'm saying like, like they will know you did the call. It'll show how long you did the call, but not what you talked about.
Right. So, yeah. So what is the issue here? I don't understand. This is where the whole anti-vax thing confusion comes from.
This is what happens when, I mean, it's very easy to just jump on a big company, right?
Yeah.
Attacking something that sounds pretty scary.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand how it works, that's the problem.
Totally. Just like, you're like, so speaking of that, it's like the vaccine. You don't understand what these numbers actually mean. It's like the probability of you getting a blood clot is actually higher if you take birth control than if you get the vaccine. Mm-hmm. Sure, different kind of blood clot, but still blood clot.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you're not worried to use the pill, but you're worried to get a vaccine. So it's like, if you understood how probability works, you'd probably be less scared. Just like if you understood how technology works, you'd probably be less scared of like this thing. I see no problem here with this. It's like, totally. Yeah. We're sure cross-reference it against a database. Well, I don't even upload things to my iCloud for photos. So it's like, if they're all on my phone, so what? Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. I wonder.
But it's funny though. It's like, it's all in the terms of service too. They are trying to explain it as best as they can. But it's like, it's all that information is there, right? But people don't understand what they're reading.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this there's many tricks too, where it's like psychological tricks. You give them like 3 truths and 1 lie, and they'll believe everything is truth.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I I don't know, you, like, I can't think of a good example, but it's like you build trust by giving them things that are real,
Yeah.
but then you can feed in disinformation within that one thing.
Yeah, because you've already gotten their trust.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like me being like, oh, like you trust Russell Brand. Russell Brand's telling me that they're going to spy on my phone. And it's like, well, did you analyze Russell Brand's intelligence level with regards to technology? Does he understand how tech works?
But he was also just regurgitating what was reported, or like what was an article, right? He might have been adding his little bits in there.
He's adding his fear mongering in there.
Right, sure. Yeah. But that's the thing, yeah. You have to read the stuff yourself. Even then, it's like you got to understand what's going on before you can even understand what you're reading too, right?
And there's also a point where you just have to like put your faith in the system. It's like, okay, if we're all going to be screwed, we're all going to be screwed. That's really how you have to think about it. It's like, let's say vaccines really did kill off 90% of the people and everyone got it. Okay, well, we're all in the same boat. So now what? You know what I mean? Like, we think our individual lives are so important that's why we want to uphold our own individual rights. But it's like, at a certain point, you really don't matter compared to the collective. Yeah. Which is, sad but true.
Yeah. I mean, that's
right. Like, all right, like let's, like, for example, like drone striking, right? If we need to kill this commanding officer, but there are like 10 civilians around, those 10 civilians don't really matter, no matter how much they would like to believe their lives mattered, right? Because we really need to get to the higher goal. And then people are like, oh, but like all lives matter, So like, it's like, but really you gotta look at the bigger picture. Yeah. Which actually segues quite nicely into Animal Farm. Okay. So I finished reading Animal Farm. First time I read it, I was so confused. I was like, I don't really get why everyone loves this. But then, like, there are like certain books where it's like you need to be almost told context prior. It's like, no, this is about this, right? So the whole idea is it's about communism, why communism fails. Like, everyone told me it's like about why communism fails. So I was like, all right, let me read it, and then think in my mind, like, what are the parallels to communism within this book? But really what it is so the whole story of Animal Farm is they work, all of the animals work under a farmer. So it's basically capitalism, right? You're all working and you get trickle down economics because like you gave your stuff to the farmer, aka big business, then they give you back like food to eat, and then one of the pigs realizes, I think it was a pig, his name's Napoleon. Funny, right? Like the leader. So he tells them, hey, if we get rid of the farmer, we can all split equally the stuff. So like, that sounds like a good thing. All the people are like, yeah, let's split the stuff. So they get rid of the farmer, but what ends up happening is Napoleon starts tricking everyone and making himself the new leader. So you have basically like communism. Well, basically it is communism because you have one leader and then like you're equally splitting things how people should have them. And like the animals were getting like underfed and like they were believing that Napoleon was like a god. Sounds a lot like North Korea when I was thinking about that. And but I don't think so. When people are like, oh, it's the failings of communism, I don't think that's true. I think it's just like power corrupts. I think that's the real lesson of it, because like they didn't like the farmer because the farmer was giving them like they could have made more money because it's we're doing all the work. So like we're giving to the farmer's selling it to other people, like again, trickle down economics. And like so in both scenarios, both were seen as evil. But that's only because the person in power was misusing their
became corrupt.
So is it better to I'm wondering, is it better to live equally like communism, like socialism, or have this dog eat dog world? Well, actually, but before you answer that question, let me reverse and say that this actually relates to the whole thing of like, again, people don't really read it because like The guy was like, oh yeah, this is about the failings of communism. So I read it, I'm like, I don't think this is about the failings of communism, you know, but it's like, but that's the general message of Animal Farm. Everyone wants to read it, but it's like, if you really look at it, it's like, it's not, it's about the failings of poor leadership. Right. Anyways, so what do you think? Do you think equality via communism or capitalism, dog eat dog world?
Well, equality under communism, if that means like a person who's a doctor and a person who's working at McDonald's makes the same money?
No. Relative. So it's like they would figure out what so that is the assumption, but it's like, no, your job bracket will be paid this, the next job bracket will be paid this, and so on and so forth.
Right.
But it's not like it's like caps. Basically, you're capping everything.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of already works like that now anyways, right? In certain fields, I would say.
Yeah, in certain fields, I guess so. You can't have a perfectly capitalist economy. You can't have a perfectly...
No, you can't. You can't have one... nothing can be run 100% capitalist. No, there has to be some level of government involved. Some, like, you can't have level. You can't have... Well, communism, we don't have one that technically works, or like even socialism. It's a mixed economy.
Yeah. It's always mixed economies.
Mixed.
Yeah.
Like there's controls on, like, you can't, like, treat workers like really bad, right? That's why there's at least a minimum wage, right?
Right.
Because if there wasn't a minimum wage, they probably would just pay them like $3 an hour. I don't know, whatever they can do.
Yeah, that would be pure capitalism.
Yeah,
because then it's like I could just set the rates.
Right.
And that's true, actually. Yeah, fair. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But then there's so much hate for one side to the other, which makes no sense to me. It's like, again, we're
I get it's
dividing.
Like, but people don't understand this is the complexity of it all, right? Yeah. It's not simple. These things are not simple.
I think maybe that's the main message of this podcast. It's like nothing is what it seems. It's like nothing is simple. It's like you have to look beyond the superficial. Like with the Russell Brand thing, like, oh, they're looking to our phones, like, look how it works. Oh, that's not actually how it works. Oh, communism's bad, capitalism's evil. All right, show me where it's 100% communist. Show me where it's 100% capitalist.
Exactly.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
But we create like tribal groups, or like tribes, like tribal mentality, like in-group, out-group.
Yeah.
Like, I hate capitalism. Damn communists. It's like, what are you talking about? We have communist things, like, the minimum wage thing, or like healthcare. Although America doesn't have healthcare, but Canada has healthcare. But
yeah, a lot of the Western nations do have healthcare. That's the only thing that America yet to... I mean, they have something, but not the same.
Oh yeah, like the Obamacare thing?
Yeah, the Obamacare... I don't know how much has been like removed since Trump was there, but there's also like Medicaid after a certain age, right? So that's
really? Oh, yeah.
They have something after a certain age, but the thing is, they want to give it to all citizens.
You know what's weird too, actually, because you don't really watch. Speaking of like medical care and stuff, you don't really watch CNN too often, like barely ever. Your parents don't have it on or anything, right?
No.
All right, so. It's weird to me to watch those commercials in between. They're all drug commercials.
Yeah.
But they're all drug commercials with crazy side effects. So like, if you have that kind of like, if you're in that environment where like medication is bad for you, maybe that is why they're like anti-vax, because they think like, well, all the other side effects for these these medical treatments are so high. Like, it's like, there's one.
But I mean, they have to, right? Like all drugs have a certain amount of side effects. They all have to write it down, whatever they are, right? But
right, okay.
It's the level of risk, right?
Oh, I see what you're
saying. To cover your health.
Yeah.
And there are risks. That means like if it's doing that, we don't want to give you this drug anymore, right?
Right.
But it's all part of the level of cure.
Yeah.
Like how much do you want to get cured, or at least treatment versus
how bad
do you want this treatment?
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
That's the thing, yeah.
Because some of the commercials are so intense. They're like, stop your chicken pox with getting this shot. Some side effects may include dizziness, death, stroke, diabetes, and you're like, wait, what?
But
It's worse than the freaking chicken pox, bro.
But the thing is, so that itself, by them having to list what they are, is part of a government thing.
Socialism. Yeah, communism. Yeah.
Right. It's like you have to list.
Whereas if it was perfectly capitalist, it'd be like, hey man, I could do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Wild West. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah. Oh man, I forgot the thing I was gonna say about that, but
about CNN or
no, about risk. How bad do you want it? Oh damn, I completely slipped my mind.
Risk outweighing the reward, or
yeah, I forgot. Never mind. Yeah, it'll probably just like flash towards me later on, but yeah, I don't know. What can we do? It really shows you that you're just this is so negative, but like a powerless puppet against the like, especially right now, you know, with like everything shutting down. Like, was that New Zealand got like one case and then they
from one case they shut down for 3 days, I think, but then they have more cases, right?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh damn, I haven't been paying attention to it.
But like, I think I read somewhere also I forgot, one of the busiest in China, one of the busiest shipping ports. They had one case and they shut it down.
In China?
Yeah.
Damn.
So really, there's different ways that people want to deal with it. Because I guess they want zero COVID, right? So any one case, just shut it down for I don't know how many days, maybe a couple of weeks, so that if it is spreading, it will only catch those people.
Is your vaccine not doing too great, or what?
No, just any.
They're just really trying to nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I heard this, and I never thought about it like this, but not until America did we ever have like non-communist style, like non-singular ruler. You know, like but it wasn't until America that they did away with like communist style stuff, like kings and, you know, like one ruler. I mean,
there was nothing for. Like, I mean, you mean like the way America was built upon that,
like capitalism, like freedom of choice, or whatever.
And democracy, right? Yeah. I think that's what
it wasn't there beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. They didn't want to be ruled by the Queen, so they are the ones who rebelled.
Do you think in the future we would just do away with the governments, or no?
Away with the governments? No.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that'll work.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think about like the argument of like pure freedom, you know, like the kumbaya people out there.
No, either there's going to be if anything like that, like that's why there's always going to be someone going to take that power position. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah, like the Napoleon thing.
Yeah. It'll be something like that. I don't think you can never have no government.
You're always going to have an alpha, basically.
Yeah. You're going to have, there's no way you're going to have no government. I don't think that works.
Yeah.
Like any kind of government, it'll be authoritarian, communist, socialism, or whatever it is to be, it'll be something.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree with you. So it's like, so why are we arguing for abolishing government systems? It's like, yeah. Yeah, all right. That's all I had.
Okay.
That's all like straight negative. Do you have anything you want to bring up?
No, I don't think I had anything that happened this week for that.
Any iPhone 13.
Yeah, the rumors are there. We're expecting maybe they'll send out the invites next week or the week after. So
all right, let's make a bet. You think they're gonna call it the 13? You think there's gonna be some crazy advancements? I'm thinking it's gonna be a 12S.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
I'll stick to 13.
All right,
might as well be different.
13.
And it's gonna be. I think it's gonna have that ProRes screen.
Okay.
And
so basically, the difference between we were discussing this throughout the week, but like the difference between jumping up a number and like just calling it an S is like if you do minimal upgrades, then you would call it like an S edition, because you're just adding like a couple of new features, like making it a little better. But I think if you're going to jump to like a 13, you need to make the phone radically different.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't see them doing it this time. Yeah.
Okay.
But you think the screen will be different? They'll probably give like an M1 chip.
I see that. That'll be the M1 chip. Will be the.
If they do an M1 chip, I mean, totally agree with you.
Right.
It'll be a.
Right. I just don't know about that. I just don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's more about the ProRes screen.
So that'll be the one difference. There's ProRes screen. So
that'll be the physical difference. Yeah.
See, to me, if they call it 13 with just a ProRes screen, I'm like, it feels a little like. Because like, all right, so think about like the 11 Pro or the 11 to the 12. They have like the mag strip in the back. They have like, like a different, like a body for the phone.
Yeah, the look, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Design,
so it's like, that seems like a totally new phone. But if they just switch out the screen, because we were looking at the mock-up demo versions that they send out for people who want to make cases.
Yeah.
And they were like analyzing it, and like it looks pretty similar to the 12, minus the camera positioning. So, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But if it's so good, like if they bring back, even though I have the 11 Pro, if they bring back the fingerprint, and they have like an M1 chip, I'm gonna have to get the new phone. I'm like, how could you not? It's like, that's crazy, bro. Because the thing about the M1 chip, if you don't know. If you watch those videos, those like new, what was it, like the demo, what was the Apple thing that happened?
The WWDC thing?
Yeah. And then they showed like, you don't even need to airdrop things. It's like basically...
Drag and drop,
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, usually to do that kind of stuff, you need like an HDMI wire. But now the M1 chip is so powerful that you don't need an HDMI wire connecting your screens together.
Yeah, it's just the integration of it all, because everything is now built by Apple.
So it's like basically wireless. Like if you have so like let's say you have a document on your computer that you want to pass to your iPad. There's no wire needed and there's no airdrop needed. There's no like delay. You just drag it onto the iPad. So if they have an M1 chip in their phone, I'm like, that seems worth it to me. If I can drag a freaking program from my phone to my laptop and then back, oh, dude.
Yeah, but again, you need to have a laptop with the M1.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So that means everything has got to be M1.
That's what I'm like, maybe I got to move in that direction. Okay. That's some crazy future, bro. Right? Like, wow. I could see like the total integration of it would be so sick. But what's really pissing me off though is like, it's like a piss off, but also it's amazing in terms of the brilliance of their technology. So something as simple as the Apple Home. Was it Apple Home Pod? What do you call it? What's it?
HomePod. Yeah, I have the original HomePod.
Yeah, so the HomePod. So I had the Bose speaker at my parents' house, and I was playing something. Usually here, if I'm like cooking, I can play music, and then I can record myself cooking, and the music will still be playing. But at my parents' house, one little thing that pissed me off was like, I would turn on the Bose, and then if I switched to video, the song would stop playing because it can't do both at the same time. Like the phone can't do it. But you were saying it's because the HomePod gets the music itself. It's not playing off of my device.
No, yeah, it's not playing off your device.
So they're working too independently. So it's like my phone's more of like a remote control for it now. And little things like that, like the fact that the music doesn't stop, I was like, that's phenomenal, bro. Or like the AirPods, right? Like Tara was like, oh, my wireless, the ones I got aren't connecting. So we had to go through like the Bluetooth, and we were like trying to disconnect, reconnect, turn it off, turn it back on. Oh, it's too far or whatever, you know? But then like my mom had AirPods, and then we just put them next to the phone, and it's like, we can detect AirPods nearby. Would you like to connect? It was like, dude, this is so like seamless.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I hate it because it's like, you need to buy Apple products, but I love it because it's so simple.
Yeah, that's why.
It's like, you just got to integrate. I don't understand. Like, it's too good. How could you not be a part of the system? Like, why would you hate on something so much when the ease of use is there?
Yeah.
It's like being an anti-vaxxer. It's like, why are you an anti-Apple person, bro?
Mm-hmm.
It's too good.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do the whole troubleshooting and stuff, that's what you find
like what
fun.
we did, like, like unpair, repair, turn Bluetooth on and off, like trying to get the wireless ones.
If you like doing
annoying.
that, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, save yourself some time and just like get the AirPods, put them next to your phone, and it's like we'll connect automatically. But it's also the Beats. But Beats are owned by Apple.
Yeah.
Because my dad's Beats, that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
We just put them close and it was like, can detect Beats. I was like, oh, that's sick. So I actually thought it was for all. Because when we got the new, because he got the 12. Oh, no, sorry, not the 12, the 11 Pro. And then that's how it was connecting. So I was like, oh, is this just the new software? So then I tried it with my own wireless ones and it wasn't, you had to do like
the old school way.
Old school. I was like, oh my God, this is so archaic.
Right. No, I think it's because the Beats have the specific chip in them. That they
to make it like that, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they announce like the 13 and there's like an M1 chip, it's like, ooh, we're getting crazy up in here. Actually, no. Now that you say it, maybe I'd have to wait for the computer first and then get the phone.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be able to use. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell anybody to upgrade, even if you have 11 or 12 at the moment. Like, why?
It's just too cool, man. It's like that feature is just too sick.
I'm jumping from a 7, so I'll be seeing some interesting changes.
Totally. Yeah. And I was thinking that too, like maybe I wait like 6 or 7 years before I update my phone again. So it's like the next time I get an upgrade, it's like another mind, because I went from the 6S to this 11 Pro and I was like, dude, the features are amazing.
Right. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what the 13 what's going to come with, because I think they are supposedly making more phones.
Oh, for this one?
Or they've ordered more to be built than the 12.
So they're projecting that this is going to be a big seller, right? And M1 chips. Augmented reality.
Don't know. Well, that's already there, right?
Yeah, but...
Or they're going to improve it more and more.
Exactly. More improved augmented reality.
With M1, yeah. Maybe.
Did they say anything about the reason why they moved the cameras around? Or no?
What Marquez was saying was the stabilizers, a physical stabilizer.
So like so what that is like if you look at a video on YouTube and there's no like movement and it looks so smooth, that's what the stabilizer does. Just in case you're like, what's a stabilizer?
But like a physical stabilizer in there where it has slight movements.
And not like to compensate for your movement.
That's right. Yeah. It's right. Sorry.
Not like the camera's going to move. It's like,
no, the camera's not moving. It is based on your movement.
So then it makes it extra smooth.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Versus, I think they had those for the Pro models. If it is correct, I mean, this is just rumors.
Yeah.
They had those only for the Pro models before. So if that's what they're doing next for the other ones, for maybe all models, I don't know.
Is it even worth buying like a cool camera anymore?
No, I think I would say like 90% of people don't
even need a camera anymore.
No.
Right? Yeah.
No. If you're really into the camera stuff, I mean, those are people going to, of course, buy. Like,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, true.
But I think like 90% of people are just posting stuff on Instagram. They're not using.
Actually, that's so true, because a lot of people would buy like a entry level Canon if they're going on vacation, or like what do you call that? Those like portable ones that they used to buy.
Yeah.
Right. Old school Canons that are like super thin. And it's like, oh, we're going on vacation, buy a camera, right? But it's like, no, just bring your phone now. I think they're completely deleting that market. Like, I agree with you. Like,
that market's been deleted.
Right? Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. But even more so now. But like, I wonder if it'll start to encroach on higher levels.
I think it might eventually, if their what do you call it, like AI and stuff is really that good.
Because even portrait mode is phenomenal. Like I've taken some like portraits of Athena, and I'm like, this almost looks like I took it on DSLR, because it's so crisp, and like the level of depth of field is like phenomenal. But that's the depth of field is all AI, right? It's not actual depth of field.
There is some physical.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
because
cool.
I think you have the 3 cameras, so it's using that. There is a physical thing.
Okay.
to create the bokeh.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was all like
I think in the
computer-generated.
other ones that don't have that other, like I think the wide angle one or something, those are AI.
Wide angle?
Like something is causing, it's between the cameras that's causing that.
The depth of field.
Yeah, the depth of field.
Yeah.
So I think in the Pro models, because of the 3 cameras, it's physical.
Oh, okay. I see
With
what you're
some
saying.
AI probably mix.
Yeah, because
Where
there's
the other
3
ones are just
cameras.
AI, I think.
Yeah, whereas the other ones have 2 cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, one thing I love about the Apple thing now, I was saying it before, that you can tell what phone it is because each one, like because it's so distinct. Like you're like, oh, it's 2 cameras, so it must be like a 10 or 11, and then 3 camera. Okay, you're like a Pro.
Yeah.
And then but that color's only for 11 Pro, so okay, it must be an 11 Pro. You know what I mean? Like they're so iconic now. Like the way the camera is.
Especially with the dummy ones saying it's for the normal, if it's a 13, it's a cross. Right, the cameras are not.
Yeah,
so there that tells you.
Even that. So like, if you look at it, even if you have a case, you're like, is that a 10? You know, but it's like, no, they're diagonal. Like
that's the new one.
The supposed 13 or 12s has them diagonal. So you see that, you're like, oh, you got the newest phone. You know, I think they're doing that on purpose. Like,
yeah, probably
to make it like more.
I mean, these things are all planned out years in advance, right?
But on purpose, so that it's like
it's all part of it.
Want to buy it?
Yeah, it's all part of it
because you're like, oh, I want that diagonal.
Oh yeah, no, it's all part of it. It's
even me, I was like, I want that triple. I want those 3 cameras. It's cool, you know, because it like stands out.
Right.
Yeah. Brilliant company, Apple.
Yeah.
Such Apple fanboys. It's so funny. I still remember like buying my first Mac with you, and like you had bought the Mac and you were so into it, and I was like, I don't know, is it worth it? Because I was coming from like
I was the first one.
Yeah, I know. You were like Dell in the beginning, and then
I was super Dell, yeah. But like actually thinking about it, like my first actual Apple product was the iPod Color.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, okay.
Which I mean, I wasn't really thinking of Apple at the time. I just thought this was
like it's a music device.
Yeah, it was like a really cool music device. It's gonna hold like 1,000. So I remember it was a million songs. So that's sick.
But you know what's crazy now? We went from 1 million to infinite songs because we're streaming now.
Yeah,
dude, that's crazy to think about. Imagine like Steve Jobs when he was first creating the iPhone. He's like, the potential of this thing is going to be amazing. And then
I still remember the presentation though. It's like, because it was like the way that an image is like showing multimedia device, a phone, like this. Remember that? Like, and it's like all together.
Like, oh my god, this is crazy. But
I remember that.
It would be so like, if he really envisioned, like, too bad he's passed away now. It would be really interesting if he was still alive to see, like, for him to see that it actually became what he believed it would be. You know what I mean? Like, he saw it. He was like, we can.
I mean, there was still stuff. I didn't read the email, but there was supposedly an email out that showed like even Steve Jobs was working on an iPhone Nano, which is only Nano came out in the 12.
iPhone Nano?
Yeah, like a smaller size.
No
the smaller size phone was like being talked about.
Yeah.
From Steve Jobs way before.
He's probably going to be like considered the Da Vinci of our time. Like Leonardo da Vinci, like the designer. And like Elon Musk too.
Yeah, there was a good, I was watching, he had like a presentation, not a presentation, like a tour for somebody around the SpaceX area.
Elon Musk?
Elon Musk.
Okay,
yeah, and like design is, like he was talking about design and production of it, right? So it's like design is the easy part.
Okay.
But to build a production, to create that is more complex.
Right.
Than the actual design.
Right. So like making the prototype is very simple because like, yeah, you can pump a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
But like to make that scalable.
Yeah.
This is what you're saying.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
To make it scalable is very difficult because you can't make every device like worth billions of dollars. You know,
the manufacturing part of it.
And that's true. I never thought about that.
Yeah. That was a good point.
It's always scalability that's extremely difficult.
Yeah. It's much more difficult than design.
Yeah, that's true. Imagine all the designs that are out right now that we don't even know about.
Right, and it's just can't be scalable. Just can't be done.
Interesting. But then at that point, it would be like bought by a company to serve one purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be for commercial use.
No,
It'd be
yeah.
like for
Right,
you know,
yeah.
like for example, what do you call that? Rockets. Like
Yeah.
how do we call it? Is it called a rocket? Spaceship.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Oh, which one are you talking about?
The Apollo.
Yeah, the space, like the rocket? Like,
Is it a
Space shuttle?
Space shuttle.
Okay.
Is this called space shuttle?
I don't know. Yeah, I
Rocket
think
ship?
so.
No, because rocket ship sounds stupid to me. I said it and I was like, is that right?
They're technically rockets,
No,
right?
but what do they call them? Spaceship? Spaceship sounds fake.
No, not spaceship. Space shuttle.
Space shuttle. Okay. Sorry, yeah, I was like, you know when you say a word too many times and it sounds like fake? Like I was like, yeah, rocket ship. I'm like, it's a rocket ship.
Well, I mean, yeah, like thinking about the SpaceX one, it's called Falcon 9 rocket, right? Or Falcon 9. Like there's a specific name for it, but it's still a rocket.
But what did NASA call theirs? Like remember the movie?
Yeah, I don't remember.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like
They
what
had a
was that
specific
thing?
name for
Thank
it,
you,
though.
Yes. Okay,
but,
so I'm not crazy.
But I think in general terms, it's a space shuttle. Because it's
space shuttle. I guess maybe space shuttle. That's the one. I couldn't remember.
Those are
like,
weird.
When I said
Yeah.
rocket, I was like, this sounds kind of fake. Did I just make that word up? But
they're
yeah,
all,
so like,
but they're all technically rockets, though.
so okay. So if you think about rocket ships, like that's not a scalable commercial product. Like
Sure.
we all can't own rocket ships.
Yeah.
But like you can have one to serve a purpose.
Yeah.
So it's like
But it takes a lot even to build. Like, so what he was specifically talking about was like the Raptor 9 rockets or whatever to build that whole unit is not, like, you can have the design done, but like to actually manufacture that and do multiple of them because you need multiples of them. It's not like that also is much more bigger.
Yeah,
You're spending more time on that than necessarily design.
You know what's weird? It's like we just need more money and we could build these things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it, what is money? Money's fake.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just desire to help build the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And your compensation is just money. So like your motivation. What if people were like led? Because I'm thinking about like great structures from back in the day, right? Like monoliths and like these, like if you go to Cambodia, they weren't being like paid. Although people are like, oh, slaves built them, you know, like the pyramids and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, because money you can make as much money as you want just because it's fake. It's not real, right? You just print more numbers, right? Or just like type in more numbers because no more real printing. So like, if that's the case, if you took money away from the equation, it's more about like your passion. What could you imagine things we can accomplish without having to like rely on money? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do. I see what you're saying.
It's impossible, but
I see what you're saying.
I'm saying we're running off an illusion. It's weird.
Yeah, we need I mean,
right? If we had more money, we could build a better rocket. It's like, why don't you just build a better rocket? Who cares about the money? Because you need the better rocket.
Yeah, but then how can the people live?
Exactly.
This is the society we've created, right? So
that's what I mean. Yeah. So it's like we don't realize we're playing like a fake game.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, money is the one runs everything.
Yeah, but it's like also an invention by humans. There's no like, it's not, money is not an element of nature.
No.
But it plays such a strong role in everything we do.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean,
that's so trippy to think about.
Yeah. I mean, like that's, but like, I mean, money is just now what we're using as the monetary thing, right? I mean, it was trade before, right? So it's like
or it's like favors or like
it's
like
so
some sort of compensation,
right? But it's like versus
so let's take that out of the equation. What if there was no, like, what if you didn't need compensation? What if you just did things for the sake of doing things? Imagine the kind of world we'd have.
Yeah, I mean that would be a utopian type of some because you don't have to buy food, right? It's like it's all there. So you can do whatever you want.
You didn't watch that movie, the one on Prime?
No, I didn't see that one.
The one with
Salma Hayek.
Yeah. So basically, in the future, it's like they were creating that fake world or whatever, and then when he came to that fake world, he's like, "How do you accomplish all this?" And she's like, "Everyone gets like $500,000 a year." They just basically made money ridiculous now. So everyone's really just doing things out of passion now. That's how they built the utopian society. They just gave people enough money to do whatever they wanted. So they just started doing things that really inspired them. That would be a sick society, dude.
Yeah, I just,
Dude, that would be a sick society. Could you imagine it? Wow. You just go over
but
to
I don't know
SpaceX.
how that works, because wouldn't this mean that money's
It's not real.
meaningless?
It is meaning, but that's what I'm getting at.
I know, but it's like,
meaningless.
but then why would anybody do any of the crappy jobs though, right?
We wouldn't.
That means we need the robots to do that for us, right?
So what if we had robots and infinite money, infinite pleasure? Sure, there's gonna be certain people that like don't care about like, but you know what? All right. So the idea that people are like, oh, there'd be people out there who just like dick off, they don't care about their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is they did during that time would just be an excellent expression of their life. So it's like if they just played video games all day, right? And you're like, oh, if you just gave people money and they just played video games all day. But then what about the people that are watching them play video games and they're gaining enjoyment off of the esports now?
Mm-hmm.
So they are serving a purpose in this theoretical utopian society that we're building in our minds.
Sure. Yeah.
Or what I'm saying is like, I think utopian societies are totally possible. Not totally possible, but they wouldn't deteriorate into nothingness.
Right. Okay.
So, because
yeah.
a lot of people think, oh, if I just give you money, you're just gonna lay around do nothing. It's like, yeah, some people.
Well, isn't that the whole thing against UBI, right? That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
But like I think even Elon Musk said it in that presentation about the AI thing.
Once he creates the Tesla bot.
Yeah.
Dude.
That there needs to be UBI.
Dude, what if the reason why he made that whole Abu Dhabi presentation where he's like all about AI, all about UBI, is because he knew he was already working on the Tesla bot.
Yeah, that's probably already
Dude, think about that. That's trippy. Yeah. He's like these humans don't even know that I'm building a Tesla bot to like replace all their jobs. So they're like, so I'm really trying to tell them you need UBI because he knows that he's going to invent something that will destroy so many jobs.
Yeah.
Especially with the release of the Tesla bot, like designed to take over boring, repetitive, dangerous tasks.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see a utopian society in our lifetime?
In our lifetime?
I kind of feel like maybe. I believe Elon Musk is Jesus reincarnate.
He's
bringing heaven on earth.
Yeah. Isn't that what he's supposed to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't a joke. Like, if you look at it analogously, it was a joke, but
I get it. Yeah,
it was a truthful joke. Like behind every joke is the truth. So like, if you look at it analogously, he is technically fulfilling the role of the second coming of Christ. He is bringing heaven on earth.
Right. So he's got a following.
Yeah, the cult of Elon. What was that thing you showed me of Elon Musk where he's like hydropower and electric are going to be the future, and he's like, no, not hydropower. That's worthless.
Yeah.
Remember? And then the guy works for a hydro plant, so he trolled him right to his face.
No, he didn't work for a hydro plant.
Oh, well, wait, you?
You know, he's a politician.
Oh, okay. So why didn't he like troll him to his face? Because he's like,
he asked him, "What's the future?
Okay,
hydrogen or electric?" He said, "Of course, electric. Hydrogen is a waste of time."
But he's an electric.
No. Being a politician, you just can't pick sides. Because you want,
I see.
You're putting money in both to see. You don't know which one's going to be hugely successful.
Hedging your bets.
Yeah. But it's like, because you're a politician, you're working with other companies too, right? So it's like you can't.
He can't agree with them, but he knows electric is the future.
Right. But the way he said it after in German was like, but it's still a debate in science, something like that, to kind of like.
But isn't hydroelectric?
No, it's run on hydrogen. Is run on something else. You have to create the hydrogen. All that processes takes more energy.
Wait. I thought hydrogen like hydro, like water.
I think.
Or are you talking like hydrogen bombs, like nuclear reactors?
I don't know myself actually.
Oh, okay.
But I think. I have no idea actually. I don't know the science behind it.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. Was just like how he
the balls on Elon Musk. Yeah.
He just like laughed it off. Like he was like laughing in front of his face. It was just such a.
Although at the same time, now that we know he has Asperger's, it's kind of like that.
But I know. That is true. That's true.
Why he's been doing like.
But that makes him even more cooler. It's like
he's a cool guy.
Like, damn.
Yeah. All right, last thing. Speaking of electricity, it's interesting because the gas prices now are ridiculously high.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know because you don't have a gas car.
No, yeah, I've been hearing that.
Dude, 160. I saw like on Instagram, Six Buzz. They're like spotted at this location. It was 160. And then
See, I don't know what these numbers mean.
Okay, so when
Is it $1.60? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we were younger, it was 23.
23 cents?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't even remember back in the day.
It's so funny because like I was talking to Tara's dad about that, and I was like, remember it was 23? Like Tara was like, no, it's always been 100. And I'm like, no, it's 23. And then her dad was like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was 23, and then it rose to like 30, then it became 40, and then it hit 100, and we were like, oh. And they're like, don't worry, it's not going to stay at 100 forever. It's been at 100 basically forever now. And then now it's at the one that I saw in Six Buzz was 160 downtown. And then my sister was filling up her car like 2 days ago, and it was 140. And I was like, whoa, these are really expensive. Only like affluent people are going to be able to afford gas cars soon enough. Like that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
So to put it into perspective, when it was at around 100, I can fill up Tara's car for like $30. Now it's costing me like 40 to 50.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's getting so high.
Oh, damn.
And that is the cheapest gas too. So Sunshine's car uses V-Power, which is highest. So for her, it's like 200 every time she fills up. No, not $200. Sorry, like 200. Like it's 160.
Right.
But there's a premium on top of that.
Yeah.
So she's spending like, I don't know, over $100 to fill up her car now.
Damn.
Like every other week. Like every 2 weeks you gotta fill up your car. That's crazy. Yeah. Gotta go electric.
Yeah, it's still very expensive too, right?
To buy the electric?
Yeah.
Yeah, expensive upfront cost. It's like the Anchor we were talking about, the Anchor wire. I bought like 3 crappy Amazon wires for $10 each, and the Anchor was $30. So it's like, why didn't you just pay $30 in the beginning? You know what I mean? It's like, just pay the upfront cost. I mean, especially with that law now that no more gas.
I would
cars.
say wait if you are, unless you're only getting Tesla, then it's fine.
No, that's what I meant. Yeah, Tesla. What other electric cars are out there aside from Tesla?
They're coming.
No, I know, but I meant what other electric cars are out there aside from Tesla?
I've seen a Ford out there.
No, but I meant.
I know what you're saying.
It's like Apple. It's like, yeah, there's Samsung. Yeah, okay. What other phones are there aside from Apple? Samsung. No. Come on, those aren't even real. Like, why are we gonna play that game?
Yeah.
Why are you gonna get a Samsung? Come on. What are you, a coder?
You know, it's not even the fact that it's electric. I mean, that's the one thing. But it was, for me, it's more like, I was thinking when I was driving the other day. It's like, you know, driving itself is a boring task.
All right, for you, I will never get over. I love driving. Dude. I'd be so sad when we're all like self-driving. I'm gonna be very sad. I will actually be very sad. I'll be like, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's just, it fits my character. Like,
yeah.
Because I don't really, and
you don't want to,
at least 90% of my driving is not me.
Yeah, so it's good for you. It would piss me off. That would. But then I guess like I would make fun of myself, like, what are you, living in the 90s, bro? Chill. What are you, Fast and the Furious, bro? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, like, it can be fast if you want it to be, right?
No, totally. But it's
I have that option to do that.
But I think if everything was self-driving, I just like the idea.
But
of
I'm like sure, driving, you know, when everything is good on the road, but then when you're hitting traffic,
True,
it's like,
yeah, it does piss you off.
Hey, right. I'm going to be on autopilot.
But that traffic would probably be eliminated if it was all self-driving, because there'd be no accidents.
I know, yeah, but
they time everything, so it'd be like, oh, it'll get you here to here in this.
I mean, a lot of the times why that happens is, sure, there's an accident, but it's because people slow down to look at the accident, which causes people. And then if the car is driving itself, you can just look.
Yeah,
because I do that too. But it's driving for me ahead.
Yeah, but I will hate that in the future. There's this line in Mission Impossible 3 where like he's playing traffic. I forgot what it was. It was like something about traffic. Like his job was traffic analysis, and he said that when you obviously this is a movie, but it actually makes total sense. He's like, if you pump on the brakes just a little bit, you can actually see that action reverberate throughout the rest of traffic.
Right.
And when he said in the movie, I was like he was trying to use it as his cover, but like it really stuck with me. And every time I hit the brakes, I'm like, oh, this is an actual reverberation, because like everyone else is going to have to stop, right? But if it was all self-driving, we wouldn't have this issue, because it would all just be like equal.
Right. Yeah. Still have a long way to go to be fully.
But then how would you drive off-road? Like, how would you go to your cottage?
So
like,
those would be no. I mean, in general roads, it works.
Or if you're going on an adventure, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess those are the options, right? That would be how you have something where you want to feel the old. Yeah.
They'd never get rid of driving, is what you're saying.
No. Of course, yeah. It's like radio's not dead yet, right?
Ooh, touche. Yeah,
so something like that. So it's like there's going to be areas where you can drive by yourself, but it becomes a different area to do that.
Right.
Versus normal roads.
True. They did do that in Minority Report when he was escaping, and it's like he hit the manual, and they're like, "Are you sure you want to drive on manual?" And he was like, "Yes." So if you're escaping the cops,
sure,
you can still. But I feel like in the future,
I don't think you can really. I mean, they would probably like add things to the car where it wouldn't. Like you wouldn't have to chase it anymore.
Yeah, no, I was exactly thinking that actually.
Okay.
Yeah. They'd probably, or if not, it would be very different. They'd probably shoot it with an EMP device. It happened in Fast and Furious 2, although again it was the movie. but
right, yeah. I remember that.
And it was like a EMP basically, and it like shut down the car. So they're probably gonna. I could see they should. Why don't they do that now? Oh well, no, because they're not electric, right? They're not. They're not like.
Well, they are. I mean, a lot of it is electronic, right? But not electric in that sense.
Not to the level of like a Tesla, where it's like if they shot the Tesla with a like a device, and then it told Tesla to turn down the car because like you had a traffic violation.
I don't even think they need. That's what I'm saying. Like that is. I don't even think you need to do any.
Yeah. Think so?
Yeah. I think it's all controlled and.
So you think in the future, like the police will just have like Tesla?
Yeah, I don't even know if people would want to own cars in the future. You're just going to be, if it's all driverless.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. It'd be like Ubers.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So
look forward to the driverless future.
I'm already thinking that, yeah. It's...
I will not be looking for. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's saying his like kids don't even want to learn how to drive. Because they're like, Dad, it's going to be self-driving soon enough. Yeah. So like, why would I learn
I'm already
this?
jumping the gun on that. Right.
What? Yeah, totally.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm going to be making fun of people who still drive.
Or say again what?
I'm going to be making fun of people who still drive.
Yeah. But
I'm already doing that already.
I like the old ways. I like the old ways.
But yeah, that's how it always is though, right?
Yeah.
Remember the good old days?
Yeah, that's true. Well, we used to use horse and buggies.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that?
Right. But also electric is not a new invention, right?
Yeah, the thing I was saying, you like they're charging those cars back in the day.
Yeah, I mean they had multiple
out.
different things back in the day.
Yeah.
Even running on ethanol, I think it was.
Yeah. But they lost out commercially. Like it's
no, but also like I think the ethanol thing also happened around the 1920s when they banned alcohol, so they couldn't.
Oh, so that makes sense. Yeah, so it's like a political reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Till next time.
Yep.
Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.
Bye. All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors: Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.